Have you ever been without water service for some time? It seems such a natural act to get a drink of water, flush a toilet, or water the lawn. But most of us take these modern conveniences for granted. It isn't until our water supply is interrupted that we stop to think about the importance that this vital resource plays in our daily lives. Without a clean, steady supply of water, our modern lifestyle would quickly come to a halt. To manage, store, and distribute the water needed to sustain the nearly 80,000 residents of the city of Orem, the Water Resources Division of the Department of Public Works has been established. Each year, the division oversees the delivery of more than 8 billion gallons of water throughout the city from deep wells, reservoirs, and mountain springs. Crisscrossing the city is a vast underground network of pipes that bring the water to every home and business in the city. This seemingly endless supply of water is there when we need it. In fact, the only time we give it much thought is when there's a problem. Interruptions to your water service can be frustrating and costly. Without water for cooking, bathing, and drinking, your daily lifestyle would become very different. And next to fire, a water line break is the most destructive force you will face in your home. The city of Orem is dedicated to doing everything within its power to see that your water supply remains pure and uninterrupted. However, most water problems occur inside the home. Frozen pipes, leaking joints, and malfunctioning or improperly adjusted valves are just a few of the ways that your water supply could be interrupted. Because these problems are located within the home, you and your family need to be prepared to deal with water emergencies as soon as they happen. In an emergency, the Water Resources Division will respond as quickly as possible. But by understanding a few of the basics about your home's plumbing system, you can prevent or at least minimize the damage caused by a water emergency until they arrive. Perhaps the most important thing you can do is to have a few basic tools ready to make common repairs. These items should include a 10-inch adjustable wrench or vice grip pliers for shutting off connections, a flashlight, a pair of work gloves, a slotted screwdriver, and a sprinkler key. The first and most important shutoff point in your home is the main water supply shutoff valve. This shutoff point will stop water flow to the entire internal structure, regardless of where the water leak is located. For this reason, it's important that you take the time now, before an emergency happens, to identify the location of this valve and to instruct all family members in how to use it. If you have an unfinished basement, the valve should be easy to find. In other homes, the valve will be located behind a removable panel or inside a closet. Usually the valve is located about 36 inches below ground and is inside your home as close as possible to the water meter outside in your yard. The valve works as an on-off switch for the water supply in the entire home. It should be turned completely open. Over 65% of the problems reported concerning low pressure involve a partially closed shutoff valve. At least once a year, you should check your shutoff valve to make sure it's functioning properly. Shutoff valves often go for years without being used, and then in an emergency, you find that deposits have caused them to become frozen in place. First, turn it clockwise as far as it will go to turn off the water, and then open it again to the fully open position. This simple procedure will help clear any deposits from the valve seat. Next, take a minute to watch the valve to make sure it does not leak after you've adjusted it. Any valve that is turned infrequently may leak after being used. If a leak is detected, tightening the packing nut will usually solve the problem. If you live in an area of the city in which the water main pressure exceeds 80 psi, your home should be fitted with a pressure reducing valve, or PRV. An improperly adjusted PRV can result in either too low or too high of pressure. Turning the adjusting screw clockwise on a PRV will increase pressure, while turning it counterclockwise will decrease pressure. Another important item to inspect on a regular basis is your water heater. Every water heater should be fitted with a shutoff valve that can be turned off in an emergency. Exercise this valve annually and adjust it if necessary. Water heaters should also be equipped with a TP valve. This is a high-pressure temperature emergency relief valve that will automatically vent your water heater should the internal pressure become extreme. A properly operating TP valve will ensure that your water heater will not become overpressurized and burst. Another device that may be installed on or near your water heater is a back pressure relief system. When water is heated, it expands and can produce as much as a half gallon of extra water in your water heater. Without a backflow prevention device, this heated water is pushed back into the city main water line. If you have a backflow prevention device, or closed system as it is called, your system is equipped with a relief valve that either sends the extra water to a drain in the floor or an expansion tank that captures the extra heated water and prevents it from being wasted. A TP valve is not designed for constant venting. If you have a closed system, one with a backflow prevention device, and it relieves pressure this way, you probably have a bad valve. Located near most plumbing fixtures in your home, you will also find a shutoff valve for that particular fixture. In bathrooms, the shutoff valves for sinks are usually located under the vanity. For toilets, the valve is normally located just below the tank. Exercise these valves occasionally to check that they work normally. Adjust them if necessary. In the event that a toilet begins overflowing or other problem occurs, simply turn the valve all the way to the off position until repairs can be made. The water supply to the rest of the house will be unaffected. Kitchen sinks have the same type of shutoff valves located under the counter. And you will also find individual shutoff points for appliances that use water, such as refrigerators and dishwashers. If your kitchen was designed for a built-in dishwasher, it probably has a shutoff valve all its own. If your dishwasher was added to the kitchen after the home was built, then its water line may have been simply tapped into the existing supply line to the sink. If this tap was made after the line passed the sink shutoff valve, then you can turn off the water supply to the dishwasher with the same valve as the sink. If the tap was made prior to the sink shutoff valve, then you will have to turn off water to the entire house with the main shutoff valve if a problem arises. A common cause of residential flooding is the washing machine. Leaking water hoses, drain hoses, or internal malfunctions can all cause minor or even major damage if left unchecked. All washing machines should be equipped with separate hot and cold shutoff valves. These hoses and connections should be checked yearly. Remember that these hoses are under pressure even when the washer is not being used and could fail at any time if they are not in good condition. Outside the home, sprinklers are another source of flooding problems. Broken heads, ruptured lines underground, or timers that let the sprinklers stay on too long are common causes of outdoor water emergencies. There are 3 ways to quickly shut off the water supply when a problem occurs. First, if your sprinkler system is on an automatic timer, move it ahead to the next station or to the off position. Second, you can cut off water to the entire sprinkler system without affecting the water supply inside the house by using a sprinkler key and turning off the sprinkler supply valve. And third, if all else fails, you can stop all water flow to the home by turning off the main service connection. This valve, however, will stop all water from flowing inside the house as well. The equipment inside the service enclosure is the property of the city and should normally only be adjusted by authorized personnel. However, in an emergency, you may turn off the entire water supply to your home with this valve. Once the cover is off, a 1/2 turn is all it takes to shut off the water service valve. This can be accomplished with an adjustable wrench, a pipe wrench, or easiest of all, a slotted sprinkler key. Once you have removed the cover, it should be reinstalled by a Water Division workman. If it is replaced improperly, it could cause serious injury to unsuspecting people stepping on it. To replace the cover, place the tooth that protrudes from the bottom of the cover between the 2 curved prongs extending from the lip of the access opening. Then, using a wrench, give the 5-sided nut a clockwise turn until it stops. The worm stud will tighten the cover securely. Besides becoming familiar with the various types of shutoff valves in your home, there are other things you can do to help avoid having a water emergency. These would include occasionally cleaning screens and aerators, flushing your water heater yearly, and having a professional inspection of your water softener if you have one. Here in Orem, we also have the added problem of freezing temperatures during several months of the year. Properly winterizing your home's plumbing system before cold weather arrives can also help avoid flooding problems resulting from burst pipes. Outside faucets should have hoses removed. Inside pipes, particularly in unfinished basements, should be adequately insulated. And in extremely cold weather, when the outside temperature has dropped below 10 degrees, it's a good idea to leave a small stream of water running in your home. This constant flow of water is often all that is necessary to prevent pipes from freezing and bursting. By taking a few precautionary steps now, you can greatly reduce the chances that your home will ever suffer a water emergency. And in the unlikely event that a problem does occur, your efforts now will ensure that damage will be kept at a minimum. The employees of the City of Orem are dedicated to providing the highest quality service to its customers. If you have a problem or concern about your home's water supply, please contact the Department of Public Works Water Resources Division.